that. And so if I am so focused on staying on the line, I can't fulfill my assignment. But my God is big enough to handle my fault, my strokes, grubs, my mess ups, because he's already prepared for what I might do. He knows what I'm going to do before I do it, and he already made preparation for me before I get there. What follows darkness is light. That darkness is the indicator that light is getting ready to shine. So there it is in Genesis, when darkness was upon the face of the deep, and God in the spirit form moved upon the face of the waters, and then God said, let there be. Because darkness precedes the light. Are you understanding what I'm saying? But he needs the darkness there so that God can move upon the face of the deep, so that the shift can take place. Let's look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor that shift take place in the darkness. Oh, y'all didn't hear what I just said. Everybody's not going to see the shift that's happening. They see the chaos, but they don't see the shift. They see all the craziness going on in your life, but they don't understand that underneath the darkness, God is moving in secret. He's moving in quiet. He's moving in the hidden places. He's moving in the cracks and the corners and the crevices. He's moving in places that you cannot see. And when the light comes, they're going to see a new order. But untying. And so the universe then has no choice. First attribute of the secret place. The secret place is a place of revelation. It makes you free because it awakens you and makes you consciously aware that everything that you thought was holding you is an illusion. Good evening, everybody. I don't know what that was. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Emerge movement, where we're empowering people on their journey towards spiritual wholeness. I'm your host, Isaac J. Miles Sr., and I am ecstatic that you have decided to come and join me tonight for the conclusion of this conscious conversation that we have been having for these past few nights, centered around the topic of the adventures of the soul. Now, there's only maybe a couple of us that are on tonight, so I'm going to give it a little while. And if we don't, if everybody doesn't gather in, then we'll just postpone and we'll come back on another night, because, of course, I'm not called to teach and talk to myself. So, not at all discounting or dishonoring those of you that are on with me right now. I really appreciate you, but we want to at least have a bare minimum of at least 7 or 8, maybe 10 people that are on, so that we're able to know that we are reaching someone. So glad for those of you who did. I find yeah, finally. Yes, you do. You do, Latrice. You got to go back and watch the beginning of the series. I know that with your new job and new position and everything that's going on in your life, it's been really challenging for you to be able to join us live. But and unfortunately, it's like there's only a few of us here. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there's 4 of us now. We went from 3 to 4 that are here with us tonight. But I'm glad that you are here, and we are all so glad your family. We're happy that you are doing so well, and that God is just prospering you, and that you're creating and cultivating the kind of life that you have always wanted. We're excited for your growth and your evolution, and for this experience in your life. It's good to see all of you. See you, Theresa. See you, Diana. Hello there, Miss Dee Dee. Good to see you. So I'm glad for all of you that are on here tonight. I'm going to give it a few more minutes. I always give it at least 10 minutes, and we're at 9 minutes and 3 seconds right now. So I'm going to give it at least 10 minutes to see if we at least get a quorum that will join us. And if not, then we'll come back on a different night. It's okay. I mean, I understand things happen and everybody's busy and has busy schedules. And so, you're not able to come on every single night in succession sometimes. So I understand that. I absolutely, positively understand that. But this conversation has been extremely interesting, I think, and enlightening and impactful and encouraging. And so I'm really excited about it. And I'm telling you, I'm excited talking to you about it, but I was even more excited when I was receiving it and learning it myself. And I couldn't wait to come and to share the insights that were given to me. And so tonight I wanted to talk more about how the soul departs from the body, lays the body aside during times of sleep, okay, and so that it can fully experience and express itself. We understand Bree. Bree says she's at work, so she'll be in and out. Yes, Theresa, and that's where I was going to go tonight, to talk about where does the soul go when it leaves the body? Where is it venturing off to? Where is it expanding itself? And where does it go to rejuvenate and revive and itself? Where is it? Where is it going? Where is it landing? And I wanted to get a little bit into that tonight. But in order for us to really get a grip or a clear understanding of the where, we need to understand something about time and, if you will, if I can coin the phrase or use the phrase, space-time continuum, and how time works, what time is, from the aspect of the divine, of the all of everything, and then from the aspect of us as unique three-dimensional individuations of that divine spirit within the earth realm. That we tend to look at time from more of a linear view, when in fact time is not linear. Time as we know it, well, number one, it is an illusion. It doesn't really exist. There's no such thing as time, but time as we have created it and we have caused to manifest and begin to use is not linear, but it's more spiral in that everything in the universe and across the multiverse is happening right now. All there is the eternal moment of now. And so everything in what we call the past, as well as the future, and those things that we call the present, are all happening simultaneously in the eternal moment of now. So everything that will happen has already happened, and everything that has happened is happening now. Are you understanding what I'm saying? That time is not linear. It does not run from Monday to Sunday to Saturday. It does not run from January, February, March, April, May. That is our human three-dimensional and linear idea, concept of how to measure time. But God is not confined to time. It encompasses and moves through time as we understand it, but in reality, time does not exist. Therefore, it is not limited by time, nor is God, the divine, the all of everything, limited by space, because God is omnipresent. That is, there is no place that God is not. So that if you were to travel through what we call time to what we call the future, God is there. If you were to fall back through what we call the past, God is there. Wherever we are, we can be localized, located, or consciously aware of, God is already there. There is no place throughout the earth, throughout the universe, and throughout the multiverse that God is not. Let me say that again. There is no place throughout the earth, throughout the universe, and throughout the multiverse that God is not. God is omnipresent. So the idea of time, of spaces, and the space is the result of our creation of time. Everything before the beginning began, everything just was and remains so to this day. But upon the creation and manifestation of time by humans, we created time, then by necessity we created space, because in order for there to be a here and a there had to be space in between. You cannot have a here and there, or a past and future, if there is not space in between. So in the creation of time and creating a here and there and a future and past, we ultimately, consequently, created space, that is, that space in between the here and the there, the past and the future. Are y'all understanding what I'm saying? And so by creating that space, that space in between, that created what is has been termed as the space-time continuum. The space time in between, time, past, future, here and there, continuum. That is the mechanism that was created in our linear way of thinking and in creating this thing that we call time, this illusion that we call time. And again, God is not subject to time. God is not contained by time. God is infinite. And so it encompasses that which we have created within this three-dimensional existence that we call time. It encompasses it. It surrounds it. It absorbs all of it, moving in and out and through it as it relates to our understanding of here and there and the space in between. And there is no place, neither here or there, future or past, or the space in between, where God is not. I need you to really grasp and understand that there is no place that God is not. God is omnipresent. God, as the divine source energy, the all of everything creator, is in every place at all times. And I know I sound very repetitious right now, and you might be like, okay, we get it, but I need for you to really understand it, because the next layer of this is the understanding that since God is omnipresent, that there is no place that God is not, that God occupies the here, the there, the future, the past, and the space in between. All of the space-time continuum is absorbed in God. Since God is thus, and you and I are not our body, but the eternal, divine, infinite offspring of God, it means then that we are the unique individuations, expressions of the divine. And since then, we are the offspring, the product, the manifestation of the divine in three-dimensional form, then we are by nature divine as well. Which means that if there is no place that God is not, there is no place that we are not. For we are in God and God in us, and we are one, literally one with God, the likeness and image of God, the isness and the essence of God. Now, I hear you already thinking, well, if we are in every place at all times as God, then why don't we know? Why don't we see? And why don't we experience every place in the universe, throughout the multiverse, all the space in between here, there, past, and future as God? Because we are, and the reason is that because we are there, we exist in every place, does not mean that we are consciously aware of ourselves in every place. That we are there, but we are unaware of our presence in that place. We are not consciously cognizant and aware of our being in that place. Come on, for most of us, because of all of the indoctrination and those things that have been entrenched within our mind for so many years, have a hard time even wrapping our mind around the concept of being one with God, of being divine, of being holy, righteous, pure, powerful, energy, anointed. All of the, we have a hard time wrapping our mind around the true personification of those things that we are. So then to then say, now I need to wrap my mind around the idea, the concept, or the universal truth that I am in every place, that there is no place that I am not, because I and God are one, because I am an individuation, a unique expression of God in three-dimensional form, but I am infinite, limitless, and boundless at the same time. So while present in the body, I am also present in every other place, but I am not consciously aware of my presence in those places. In my choosing to enter this three-dimensional form, to occupy this space consciously, I embrace the concept of forgetfulness, so that I'm able to fully have the experience of being human. But my forgetfulness does not eradicate the nature, the true nature of my being. And so what the soul, yes, the job and the intention of the soul in this three-dimensional form is to rediscover itself to its fullness, and cause us to become fully consciously aware of the expansive, infinite dynamics of our divinity. Woo! Yes, to cause us to become consciously aware of the fullness of God, of the Godhead in us bodily, to be reminded, to remember, rejoin, rediscover, yes, who we really are, so that we can become consciously aware of ourselves in our divine nature. Are you understanding what I'm saying? That is the obligation, the job, the intention of the soul in its journey and its adventures. The whole purpose behind its adventure is not just for rejuvenation, revival, or refreshing, but to also help us to remember and to remind us. That is, change the way we think, repent, change our concepts, our imagination, our mode of thinking, that to think beyond the boundaries of this three-dimensional existence and see ourselves for who we really are, the divine expression of God throughout the multiverse. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Yes. That is the ultimate goal, the ultimate desire, and the intentionality of the soul. It is reminding us of our own divinity. Listen to what I'm saying. It's the reason that the Apostle Paul seems to postulate when he says that we should present our body a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God, which is our reasonable service. Listen, and be not conformed to this world. Be not conformed to this world. He does not say don't be conformed and stop. He qualifies it by saying, but don't be conformed to this three-dimensional world's way of thinking, acting, moving, understanding. But we are told that we are to be conformed into the image of the Christ. Woo! Yes, glory to God. That's in Romans chapter 8. In Romans 8, he says, whom he foreknew, foreknew, them he chose. Who he chose, them he justified, and justified he glorified, that we might be conformed to the image of the Christ. Are you hearing what I'm saying? So we are not to be conformed to this world way, this human way, this three-dimensional way of thinking, moving, and understanding, but we are to be conformed, yes, to the Christ way of thinking. Well, how did Christ think? Let this mind be in you that was also in the Christ. How did the Christ think? Who thought it not robbery to understand and see himself as equal with God, as God in the flesh. So our conformity to the Christ consciousness is to come to the place where we understand that we are God in the flesh. And so that Romans piece continues, don't be conformed to this earthly, three-dimensional, worldly way of thinking, moving, and acting, but be transformed by the anakinosis, the renewing, the shifting, elevating, expansion of your mind, not the expansion of your spirit, because your spirit is omnipresent and omnipotent and divine, so it cannot be further expanded. Not the expansion of the soul, because the soul is all expansive, but the expansion of the mind, the renewal of the mind, the reminding, reconstructing, reconfiguring, remembering of the mind. Are you understanding? That is to become consciously aware of your essence, your being as divine. Woo! That is the entirety of the intentionality of the soul. And it is the reason for the adventures and journeys of the soul, so that we can become cognizant, aware, conscious of ourselves as being in all places, at all times, inhabiting all things, encompassing all things. I want to read again from my conversation with God, God's response to my question about the soul leaving the body while we are asleep, and its journeying and its movement. And then I'm going to talk about journeying and moving. Okay? I want to read this again because it is pertinent to what we are talking about. So I want to read this one part. Where is it at? Let me start at The soul seeks a true state of being. The soul is lightness and freedom. It is also peace and joy. It is also limitlessness and painlessness, perfect wisdom and perfect love. It is all these things and more. Yet, it experiences precious few of these things while it is with the body. And so it has made an arrangement with itself. It told itself that it would stay with the body as long as it needs to in order to create and experience itself as it now chooses. But only if it could leave the body whenever it wished. It does this daily through the experience that we call sleep. My response to the statement was a greater question. I said, I thought we fell asleep because the body needed rest. God responded, you are mistaken. It is the other way around. The soul seeks the rest, and so it causes the body to fall asleep. The soul literally drops the body, sometimes right where it's standing. When it is tired of the limits, tired of the heaviness and the lack of freedom of being with the body, it will just leave the body when it seeks refueling. When it becomes weary of all the non-truth and the false realities and imagined dangers, when it seeks once again reconnection, reassurance, restfulness, reawakening for the mind. Listen, when the soul first embraces the body, it finds the experience extremely difficult. It is very tiring, particularly for a new arriving soul. That is why babies sleep a lot. I want you to catch this. When the soul gets over the initial shock of being attached to the body once more, it begins to increase its tolerance for that. It says it stays with the body then more and more. At the same time, the part of you call your mind moves into forgetfulness. This is by design. Even the soul's flight out of the body, taken now on a less frequent basis, but still usually daily basis, do not always bring the mind back to remembrance. Every time the soul departs or journeys outside of the body to experience and express itself fully, it does not always bring the mind back to remembrance. Even though that is the intention, it does not always bring the mind back to remembrance. Indeed, during these times, the soul may be free, but the mind that has been impressed, impacted, and influenced by all of these outside sources, culture, environment, mom, dad, cousins, religions, traumas, experiences, the mind sometimes is confused. Thus, the whole being, that is the whole being of the soul, may ask, where am I? During one of these journeys, during one of these excursions, the whole being, the conscious mind may say, where am I? What am I creating here? These searchings may lead to a fitful journey, even frightening ones. You call these trips nightmares. Are you hearing me? So sometime when the soul takes these excursions, these odysseys out of the body and fully experiences and expresses itself outside of this three-dimensional form that it has individuated itself to, the conscious mind is confused. The soul does not travel without the conscious. The conscious mind goes with the soul, but sometimes it is confused because of those other exterior influences that have so entrenched themselves within our conscious mind. So in seeing those other experiences in other times, spaces, and places, the conscious mind begins to question, where am I? What is this? What am I creating? And it can become so intense, that's the word, and fitful that it can become almost frightening. And those are the things that we call nightmares. It is not a satanic attack, a demon, a devil, witchcraft, hoodoo, and all the other kind of religious nonsense. It is simply the conscious mind via the soul encountering a reality that it cannot wrap itself around and fully comprehend, and so becomes apprehensive and even frightened of that reality. Come on, how many times have you had what you call a dream of yourself falling, drowning, falling out of the sky or out of a plane or off of a cliff, or being shot, or experiencing something that your three-dimensional human understanding interprets as traumatic, hurtful, or dangerous? And so the mind is like, what's going on? What's happening here? Where are we? Why am I creating this experience? And becomes frightful, and we call it a nightmare, when in fact what it is the conscious mind unable to comprehend fully the encounter that it is having with itself in a different reality. Hey, are you understanding what I'm saying? Yes. Latrice says those falling dreams I don't like. Let me wait a minute. I'm missing some questions. So what happens when a person don't get enough sleep? I covered that last night. I'm going to cover it again in just a minute. Hold on a second. Okay? And then your other question was, is that why we go back to a dream that we dreamed before? Absolutely. Because the soul is seeking to awaken the conscious to the experience and its being in every place. So is an inability to sleep the consequence of a chaotic soul? No. No. Oh, that ties into the question Diana asked, and I'm going to answer that in just a minute. That's a really good question, though. No, not at all. So stay with me then. Let me go further and answer those questions. Okay? Now, sometimes the opposite will occur. The soul will arrive at a place of great remembering. Those are what we often call lucid dreams, or in the church religious word, they call it an open dream or open vision. A lucid dream, a place of great remembering. Now the mind will have an awakening or an epiphany in those places. This will fill it with peace and joy, which you will experience in your body when you return to it. Okay? How many of you have had those kinds of lucid dreams and encounters that caused an awakening? And when you came back to your body or awakened from your sleep, you were filled with peace and joy and happiness and this sense of tranquility and oneness and wholeness. And you had this epiphany and understanding that you didn't have before. Are you understanding what I'm saying? But listen to this. The more your whole being experiences the reassurance of these rejuvenations, and the more it remembers what it is doing and trying to do with the body, the less your soul will choose to stay away from the body. For now it knows that it can come to the body for a reason. For now it knows that it came to the body for a reason and with purpose. Its desire to get out, it desires to get on with it and to make the best of all the time that it has with the body. So in fact, watch this, those who have an inability to sleep are rather those whose souls have accomplished more of an awakening within the conscious mind, causes the soul to leave the body less than what it would, which results in what we call insomnia. It is, yes, that inability to just fall off to sleep, because the soul now is aware that the conscious mind is more awakened and able to remember. And so in those times when you are unable to fall off to sleep, those are the times that you are to find yourself a place of peace and quiet and enter into meditation, mindfulness, or trance-like meditation, so that you are able to tap in to what the soul is trying to release into the conscious mind. Your inability to sleep is an indicator that your conscious mind has awakened to the point that it is ready to receive an infusion of information that it would normally need to be asleep to encounter. Now you are able to encounter it in your waking state. So take advantage of those moments to enter into meditation using trance-like meditation, mindful meditation, chanting, mantras, so that you are able then to allow the soul to flow freely into the conscious mind, bringing light. That is knowledge, insight, understanding, revelation, remembering. You're not awake just to be awake. You're not awake because of any other kind of external thing. Now, hold on, because it is possible for you to experience a level of stressful anxiety that can keep you awake. But in those cases, most often the soul will force the body to sleep so that it can rejuvenate itself and free and rid itself of the stress and the anxiety. But when you find yourself with an inability to sleep, and there is no stress or anxiety or fear or trouble or anxiousness, it's simply, why am I not asleep? Why am I not asleep? Because the soul is urging you to sit with it. That is, sit with the soul, to open your conscious mind and receive this infusion of light, truth, revelation, understanding, and knowledge. And watch when that knowledge, that light just floods into your conscious mind. Watch how after you distill it within your understanding, how quickly you fall asleep. Watch. because you never get away from those keys to the universe. Y'all remember when I taught you about the keys to the universe? This is a thread that runs through everything. It's a part of every part of your spiritual experience in the earth. Practicing those 5 keys will always be consequential in your life. And in this place, it's meditation that opens the conscious mind to receive the infusion that the soul seeks to bring. Are y'all hearing me? Are you understanding me? Somebody got a pill for that. Girl, you gonna rob yourself with them pills. You better leave them pills alone. Oh, Lord have mercy, you a mess. You are a mess. Okay. Question is passing in one's sleep the soul's commission complete? Oh, you're saying if someone transitions in their sleep, is the soul's mission complete? Ladies and gentlemen, we all transition in our sleep. Whether it is a heart attack or a stroke or a car accident or being shot or falling off a bridge or whatever, the body goes to sleep and the soul departs, leaves the 3-dimensional form. Okay? Because remember, you are not your body. You don't see with your eyes, hear with your ears, smell with your nose, speak with your mouth. Those are all just the tools necessary to facilitate the soul experiencing itself in this 3-dimensional world. Because as I said to you on the other nights, you can go in a funeral home or walk into any funeral and you'll see a body that has ears but can't hear, eyes but can't see, mouth but can't speak, nose but cannot smell. Okay? The only thing that causes it to function is the presence of the soul. Because the soul uses those parts of the body as a tool to be able to experience and express itself in this 3-dimensional form. You are not your body. You are not your body. Okay? Are you understanding what I'm saying? Yes? All right, so let me take you a little further because I need to explain something else or at least touch on it as much as I can. Hold on. Teresa said, oh, that happened today during my time of meditation. Awesome. I know it had to be. Ooh, yes. Absolutely awesome. Diana, you a mess, girl. I'm telling you. You're right. Show don't fall far from the tree. That is absolutely awesome. Now, let me throw a monkey wrench into everything that we've just been talking about by saying the term travel, odyssey, trip, adventure, going to, all of those are really just human words that are not completely accurate. They are just a human way of expressing the principle and the practices in a manner that we'd be able to understand. But in fact, the soul is attached to the spirit, and the spirit is everywhere. It is omnipresent. So you don't travel to any place because you're already there. You look crazy standing in the grocery store saying, I'm getting ready to go to the grocery store. What do you mean go to? You're in the grocery store. Well, ladies and gentlemen, because you are an omnipresent spirit, there is no place you are not. But it feels like to the conscious mind that you are arriving, traveling, moving, odysseying to a particular place because you are becoming consciously aware of yourself or your presence in those places. It feels like you have just arrived. It feels like you are moving there, traveling there, going there. But in fact, you are just awakening and becoming consciously aware of your presence there. But you have always been there. You just weren't aware that you were there. Whoa! I know I just threw a monkey wrench in, but I'm trying to get you to understand. Remember, you are the offspring of God. You are divinity in jeans and a t-shirt. You are God in the flesh. And so if God is omnipresent and you are that spirit, then you are omnipresent. Are you understanding? But you are not consciously aware of your omnipresence. So when you become consciously aware of yourself in these time, places, and spaces, which again is an illusion, a three-dimensional way of describing the multiverse, then it feels like you are going there. It feels like you are arriving there, but you have always been there. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Yes, even though your three-dimensional form may not be there, you are there. Now, are you understanding me? So, where is the soul going? Where is the soul taking our conscious mind and revealing our presence? Where is it trying to get us to understand that we are? The soul leaves the body and goes, end quote. Where does it go? It goes throughout time, space, throughout the multiverse, throughout what we call past and future, to experience itself in all of these places. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for this? Hold on to your seats. Hold on to your seats. You are a multi-dimensional being. Because you are in every place, omnipresent, you are not just localized or individualized in this three-dimensional form. You are only conscious of yourself in this form, but you also exist in other dimensions throughout the multiverse in other forms, woo, that are specifically designed for that dimension. There is another expression or iteration of you in every dimension across the multiverse and in every space and in every time. Remember, those are misnomers, they are an illusion, but there is a you, an expression of you in what we call past as well as future, as well as the here and now, as well as in this universe and other universes in this dimension, as well as in all the other multiple dimensions that exist across the multiverse. There are multiple iterations and expressions of you across the multiverse. You don't look like the three-dimensional form that you inhabit here because this form is designed for this existence, this three-dimensional existence. But in other dimensions, the form is designed for those dimensions. And so it does not look like the form in this dimension. So the soul is trying to move the conscious mind, that is our consciousness in this dimension, to understand and become aware of itself in other forms, in other dimensions, in other times and spaces. There are other dimensions where you are much more evolved than you are here. Matter of fact, there are other dimensions and other highly evolved societies that are way more evolved than humans in this three-dimensional plane. As a matter of fact, I asked this specifically and was told that humans are some of the lowest evolved species or individuations that exist. We're not the lowest. There are a few below us, but most other existences, most other beings are far more advanced and evolved than we are. Far more advanced than we are. Okay? I want you to think for a moment logically. Is it logical to believe or think that in the entire expansive universes, I mean, even scientists tell you that there are multiple galaxies beyond this galaxy that we call the Milky Way, multiple millions of other galaxies beyond this galaxy. Is it logical to think that we are the only life form that exists in the entire multiverse? Of course it's not. That would be the epitome of arrogance and stupidity. No, you don't. Thank you, Diana. She says, so I don't have this kind of body? No, you do not. You have a different form that is specifically designed for the dimension in which you exist. No, you do not have the same qualities. You are more evolved in other dimensions. You are in alignment with the life forms of that particular dimension. That's a good question. Oh, that's not a question. You just put, phew. I know, huh? It's a lot. Okay? Very good questions. Okay? Are you understanding what I'm saying? Are y'all understanding what I'm saying? Man, I'm out of time already. It's been an hour already? Okay, but I'll still right quick, if you have a question, put it in the comments. Do it quickly. Do it quickly. Oh, Robert, he asked me, can you break down the dimensions? I absolutely can, but not in the time that we have left. And wait, let me qualify that. I absolutely can break down as many as I am consciously aware of. I am not aware of all the dimensions that exist. I wish I was. I am trying to become aware of as many of them as I possibly can, but I am aware of up to 37 of them now. And I'd be glad to break those down. Do these dimensions overlap? Well, yes and no. Yes, because everything is happening simultaneously in the eternal moment of now. There is no such thing as time. But in the divine dichotomy, no, because as we think of linear time, then no, they are not overlapping. They're happening on a different timeline. But in fact, in ultimate reality, yes, because everything is happening simultaneously in the eternal moment of now. That is that one of those divine dichotomies. Okay. Okay. I hope I don't look like the state. Only you would say that. You and Yvette. I don't know where Yvette at tonight, but the two of y'all, I swear y'all keep me laughing. Lord have mercy. Okay, any other questions? Write it quick. Put it in the comments real quick. Put it in the comments real quick because I'm already over time. So if you got another question, ask it right now. Do it quick. Don't hesitate. Hurry up right now, right now, right now, right now, right now. Now you might be asking, some of you might be wondering, so what is the point of all of this? What's the point of knowing all of this? The point is so that you can fully understand and then ultimately embrace your true divinity. Because when you're able to do that, then it changes how you live your life in this iteration of life. It changes how you live, how you think, how you move. It changes your perspective, your perception, your understanding. And that therefore it changes how you act and how and what you create for your own life. It helps you to be more intentional, more deliberate, and more powerful in your movements. That's the reason behind all of it. That's the reason that I'm explaining all of this, not just giving you knowledge for knowledge's sake, just stuff to be able to regurgitate and float around in your head, but for you to be able to use to help you in your development, your growth, and your evolution. All right, I don't see any more questions coming up. So, oh, that's a good question. Diana asked, how much of this information can we take with us? I'm assuming you mean when we transition out of this body. The soul has, the moment that you leave this body for good, the moment you transition out of this body at what we call death, and death is not a reality either because you don't die, you simply change forms. You leave this three-dimensional form and you return to your original state of being. And the moment that you return to your original state of being is the moment that all of the knowing that you have forgotten returns. And you will know even as you are known and fully understand everything. But the soul chooses to forget, to experience forgetfulness in its entry into this three-dimensional realm so that it can have a real full experience. You couldn't really fully experience being human if you came into this form aware that you know everything. So the soul chooses to forget, and it repeats this particular action again and again and again in what we call reincarnation. With every incarnation, it chooses to forget so that it can have a unique original experience as being human. That's a great question. I'll talk more about that one in our next empowerment session. Robert, I will. That's my intention, and that'll be on Thursday at 7:30. Okay, I'll talk more about that as well as that what happens after we quote unquote die. I'm going to talk more about that in our next empowerment session. Oh, that's a good question, Toya. And I'm going to talk about that in the next empowerment session as well. We come back in whatever form we choose. It's possible for you to do whatever you choose. You understand that you are living out the experience that you chose before entering this three-dimensional world. You just don't remember it yet, but you chose this life experience. All your talents, your gifts, your abilities, all your experiences, everything, you chose it, co-creating this life experience with God. And so when you exit this form and are preparing to re-enter in another form, you choose when that is, you choose what that is, and you choose how that experience will be from start to finish. I'll talk more about this in our next empowerment session on Thursday at 7:30. Okay? And you come back in whatever form you choose. And yes, it is possible to come back in the same form. Yeah, that one blew me away too. I asked that question, Toya. I'm like, so you mean that I could rise from the dead? He's like, well, didn't you believe that Jesus rose from the dead? And did you think he was the only one? It blew me away. It blew me away. Oh, I'm telling you. We'll talk more about it. Yeah, what you said. We'll talk about it more about it on Thursday. Okay, we'll talk more about it on Thursday. All right, y'all. I am 8 minutes over my time, so I got to get out of here. For those of you who would like to sow or like to give tonight, you know what to do. Let me put the information on the screen. Go ahead and get your phone right now and give your gift, give your seed, give your offering, give your tithe, if you will, by using the Cashapp, Emerge LEC, or Zelle, ijmouse38@gmail.com. Either one of those ways is sufficient. Whatever amount you choose to give is absolutely up to you. I am not doing this for money. I am not trying to get rich. Your giving is a way to express your appreciation for what you are receiving. It shows that you value what you receive and you honor me as your teacher. But it is, you are not obligated to give anything, and it is not so that I can get rich. I work every single day, so I make a living for myself. This is just a vehicle and a conduit through which you can give and begin to create a current of increase and prosperity in your life. I'm just one means by which you can do so. Giving to anyone in any form creates a current of increase and prosperity into your life. Okay, I appreciate if you give to me, but if you never give me anything, I'm gonna still be right here doing this work. As long as there are people here to listen, I'll be here to teach. All right, so I know you were helped. I know you enjoyed it. I enjoyed myself. I'll see you back on Thursday, not tomorrow, Thursday at 7:30 in this same place. If you want to make sure that you're aware when I'm getting ready to come on the air, you haven't done this already, I'm putting it on the screen right now. Go ahead and sign up for the free text notification. It's free, doesn't cost you a dime, doesn't cost a nickel. All you have to do is text the word emerge to 833-444-0163, and you will automatically be enrolled in our free text notification, and that way you'll get a text before I come on the air, usually at least 10 to 15 minutes or 30 minutes before I'm getting ready to come on the air, so that you don't miss the one empowerment session that we have. So go ahead and do that right now. Pick up your phone, text the word emerge to 833-444-0163 and sign up for the free text notification. And I will see you on Thursday night. Until then, have an absolutely fantastic evening and get ready for a wonderful, wonder-working Wednesday.